Good to have you on board. To begin with, you gave a fairly cautious commentary at the end of Q3. How would you say Q4 has panned out for you? Because the dealer inventory was still as high in Q4.
Yeah, I think, thank you for having me on your show, Ayesha. I think you've hit the nail on the head. We have had in India during January to March a very high inventory, both held at the OEMs as well as at the dealers. In fact, in the month of February, I think it had gone very high. It's estimated that two-wheelers would have had about 80 to 90 days, and pass cars and CV also anywhere between 45 to 50 days. So dealer inventory means and OEM inventory means selling out of stock. April, I think you already saw that pass cars were down by between -13 and -15% in the industry. And we as Bosch, 85% of our turnover is linked to mobility space or automotive. So we've had a muted set of numbers this quarter. But I have to say that in spite and despite this last 2 quarters not being great in terms of industry standards, January to March 2019, our top line grew by 13%, our 5%, our EBIT PBT grew by 15%, and our PAT grew by 17%. So it's a decent set of numbers for 18-19, and we ended with a PAT of 1,600 crores and with a revenue of 12,258 crores.
But Soumitra, have you adjusted your capacity or for that matter even production given the lack of momentum in the overall auto industry?
Yes, we did do it like whole of industry, but you must remember that 2019-20 is going to be a very volatile year, and there are going to be sharp spikes during the year. There's also going to be a pre-buy, and the industry will not be able to carry the inventory over. That means BS6 also has to get implemented. So we are getting prepared to ensure that these spikes are met, and the BS6 challenge, where we play a very important role, is met, as well as supply both BS4 and BS6 systems and solutions.
So help us with the timeline of these spikes that you envisage, and more importantly, how optimistic are you about a pickup closer to BS6, and more importantly after elections as well? Because, I recall most managements, in particular like Maruti for instance, in their post-earnings commentary, they said that they do hope or they do foresee that demand would get better after elections. Is that an estimate that you're also working with?
So I think, first of all, we must expect stability in the government and reforms, and we have to wait till 23rd for the final poll results to come out, but the exit polls are giving some indication. I would say that if you really analyze what's happened to industry, it's a combination of overproduction, it's a combination of sentiments which were muted, therefore offtake lower, and also NBFC crisis, where credit and loan plays a very important role for sales. Now, having said that, and don't forget that Indian automotive market has had 2 subsequent peaks in the year 2017 and 2018. Now, having said that, whatever goes up comes down, and this is what happened for the last 4 or 5 months. We do expect this quarter to be muted to degrowth, because April was anyway a degrowth. We expect the next quarter, that means July to September, to start picking up, and we are looking for the 3rd quarter of financial year 1920 to really pick up. We are also hoping that there would be a positive pre-buy in Q3, and then of course a demand for BS6 in Q4. So we are hoping, on the summary, we are hoping that the second half of financial year 2019-2020 shows positive, good growth back on the track.
All right. Then we'll let you go on that note. Many thanks for joining in and giving us a view as to how the earnings have shaped up for the quarter gone by, as well as the overall outlook. So challenges in the auto sector, that's being acknowledged by the management, which is what led to a bit of weakness. 17,500, that's where Bosch is currently at. But meantime, the street has shunned Bharat Forge after the guidance cut, and HEG is under pressure despite the steady average realizations. Meanwhile, United Breweries is full of fizz today as the management remains rather confident about a turnaround in the FMCG sector in the near term. Let's in fact hear out what some of the top corporate voices had to say today on ET Now.